I feel like everywhere you hear about drone strikes or you hear about these drone operations and the massive civilian casualties, it's always synonymous with Yemen. Why
Hmm.
is Yemen and drone strikes so synonymous?
Um, Mostly because we shouldn't even be over there, and um, Yemen is a humanitarian crisis going on right now. Like the children are starving, places are being devastated, and the excuse that was given to me was that their government requested us to help them out. Um, so when I was in the third SOS, the end of my enlistment, I was a part of an operation to track down and hunt Anwar al-Awlaki, who was an Islamic imam, a holy man. Uh, this guy, when 9/11 happened, was invited to the White House by the Bush administration and was even friends with the Obama administration. Like, went to the White House and was like, yeah, we need to be over there. There are, radical Islam is not Islam,
Where's this guy
right?
originally from, Anwar al-Awlaki? For people who don't
Um,
know his full story, like what?
he's from Yemen,
Okay,
but he was a United States citizen and lived in Colorado. I think Colorado Springs, actually, um, if we want to be specific. And his son, Abdullah Rahman, lived here too, right? And so when Anwar al-Awlaki, he was invited, being a celebrity in his religion, he was invited to go to mosques all over the world. And he especially, of course, any compassionate religious figure would go and help his people, regardless. Like, one of my favorite phrases is from the Bhagavad Gita, when Lord Krishna is talking to Arjun, and he's like, anyone can come to me, whether they be good or evil, and I will give them fair judgment. Right. And I think that, my grandfather was the same way. Like, if anyone came to him, regardless of whether they were the worst scum in the world or the noblest of saints, he would still talk to them as if they're still human. And
hmm
so Anwar went to a mosque, and of course there were people that were opposed to what the U.S. government was doing over there, coming and talking to them, and he was giving them advice. We don't know what advice he was. I wasn't told what advice, but we got video of him talking to known members of, I think, Hamas, and just that alone right there was enough for people to be like, okay, we should kill him. But then he was like, he saw the devastation that was happening in Yemen. He saw what we were doing and what was going on. He was like, the United States is wrong. The United States is wrong in this. And you know what they decided to do? We kill him. Uh, right
Well,
before.
anywhere. Sorry to interrupt, but I feel like anywhere you are, whether you're in the United States, Africa, Yemen, if you see a exorbitant amount of innocent people being slaughtered for no reason, you're gonna feel extremely passionate about or extreme. You're gonna feel
Compassion.
compassion and or resentment for
Mm-hmm.
whoever is doing that, whoever's responsible for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember that my leadership was, every brief that we'd have, they'd be like, this guy deserves to die. He's a traitor to the United States, blah, 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 blah. But no one really, one of the first times I actually ever read the Constitution was at the end of my enlistment. We swear an oath to this thing, yet we don't have to fucking understand it or know it. No one teaches us. They just like, do you swear to uphold the Constitution?
Right.
Yeah,
Everybody
right.
talks about it.
Yeah.
You gotta
And
protect it. That's all we know.
yeah, yeah, right. Um, and so I remember coming in on one day, and one of the pilots, I'm gonna name him, and I hope he forgives me, but I respect this guy a lot. His name was Chris Ayers. He was a major in the Air Force, and him and I had a game going on. Wherever he was a briefing, I would go in and I would change one of his slides to say something silly or stupid, or I would like copy one of the slides like 10 times so that when he clicked the button, it would go to the same slide. So him and I would play these games to just entertain ourselves. And I remember coming in one day and he looked like, he was like this. He was like, oh my God, like he looked sick. And I go up and I was like, hey, sir, what's going on? Like, what's up? And he was like, we're now going to be flying armed in Yemen, when previously we weren't. You know, the episode that I said that I flew the longest mission, that was a Yemen mission. And it was, we were flying unarmed with no SIGINT pod because we were just doing visual. And it was February of 2011. And he's just like, yeah, we're flying armed now. And if we are given the order to kill Anwar al-Awlaki, President Obama himself will call up the GCS, ground control station, and give the order. And I was like, awesome. Like, we're going to kill this guy. Like, it's probably going to be me, right? Like, I'm probably going to be the dude that's going to do it. It's one. There was three of us. There were three crews that flew this mission because it was so high profile.
What did you guys know about Anwar al-Awlaki at that time?
Nothing. Like, we just knew that he was a traitor. I didn't look him up. I didn't know anything. I was just doing what I was told, right? I didn't watch the news or do any of that type of stuff because I knew from what they were reporting versus what we were doing, I knew that they were reporting bad, right? And I was like, all right, we're finally going to get this mission done. So what's the problem? And he looks at me and he's like, Church, don't you understand that our Constitution says that even a traitor deserves a fair and free trial in front of a jury of his peers? We're violating everything that I swore to do. And I was kind of like, whoa, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, this is wrong. And I remember, so we have to build a mission profile, a mission folder before every launch. And as I was usually the person that launched the aircraft, I was the one that was making this folder. So I'm sitting at the computer and I'm putting it together. I'm putting the dossier together. And I get this sense of, I'm standing at the printer and I get this sense of vertigo. Like I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm probably going to be the one to kill this guy. I want like if Obama, like I voted Obama into office, right? Like I voted this guy. I'm going to get an order from the president of the United States, the guy who I voted into office. Like I just had it was like this euphoria. And then I remembered my first shot. I had forgotten about it. And I remember what my mom said. And my mom said that, you know, as soon as you want to do it, that means that you are no longer capable of carrying the responsibility of doing it right. And I don't know if you've heard of a book series called The Wheel of Time. That's one of my favorite book series. I've read it 5 times. And it's a super long series, but there's one point one of the characters gets an axe and he's this young boy and he's like practicing with it in the woods and he wants to use it. He wants to be this hero. And he ends up killing some other men and getting sick, like just horribly sick from it. And his mentor comes up and he says, he's like, it's good that you feel this way. You know, as soon as you want to do it, then you must throw that axe away and rock the other way. And my mom said the same thing in different words, you know, like right after I had done it. And so like I had this echo, like this series that I had loved so much, and my mom's words and my grandfather's teachings just echoed within me. And I had this sense of vertigo that I was doing the wrong thing. And I was like, I can't stay in. I was thinking about maybe re-enlisting. I was thinking about like, had I re-enlisted, they were going to make me an MQ-9 Reaper operator. I was going to get sent down to White Sands. And then I was like, I can't do this. I can't be a part of this anymore. And right before I got out, it could have been like right before I got out or right after. No, it was right after. So I left early. I got terminal leave, 84 days of terminal leave. And in April of that year, they had their first attempt to capture Anwar al-Awlaki, and they failed. The helicopter that was going after them had a critical malfunction and crashed in the middle of the desert, and I think it killed 5 Marines. So then they were like, yeah, we're just going to kill him. And I had people keeping me updated. And then later that year, Anwar al-Awlaki was killed, and then his son Abdullah Rahman was killed 2 weeks later. Well, I find out that Abdullah Rahman, what had happened was, as soon as Anwar al-Awlaki started speaking out against the U.S. government, they took his passport away and trapped him in Yemen. He couldn't come back, which he intended to. He intended to come back and go to Washington and make a stink and being like, "This is wrong. You must stop this." Well, instead, he had power, right? He was basically the Islamic Martin Luther King, right? He wasn't trying to incite violence. He was saying that the United States was wrong doing. And then he became more. Once they took his passport away, he became radicalized. And then his son, who ran away from home to find his father, went to Yemen, was killed in a drone strike because the United States didn't want him to become an icon. Like,
was Anwar doing some crazy shit, like praising the guys who flew the planes into the towers on 9/11, and was it?
I don't know about that. I just know that once his passport was taken from him by the United States and he was hunted down, he became radicalized. And whatever he said from that, he was just super fucking pissed.
Right.
And his emotional state, I'm not excusing what he was saying. I'm saying that his emotional state pushed him he saw the suffering and he took it on as his own, and he did what he was believed was right, even if it was wrong. And one of the things that people don't know about the Trump administration is that Anwar's daughter was also in Yemen at the beginning of Trump's administration, and he ordered them to kill her because they didn't want her to become an icon either. So Trump gave the order to kill an 8-year-old girl.
And that went through?
Yeah, it went through. The Yemeni crisis is wrong on all fronts. And I don't know what they're searching for over there. I don't know. I don't know what resources or the destabilization or whatever. But if we even go back to Sun Tzu's The Art of War, the way that you win a war is not through violence. The way that you win a war is by getting the people on your side. And the way that you get the people on your side is not by inciting violence, but by giving them the resources that they need to live a normal life.
Right.
Not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Not everyone wants to be a rich CEO. Not everyone wants a golden fucking toilet seat. People just want to live their lives free and happy. And what we're doing over in the Middle East is causing the opposite of that.